Morning everyone. Today we can learn about what is a forfeiture and the reissue of a shares. This forfeiture and the reissue of a share is the continuation of a calls in arrear and calls in advance. Calls in arrear means what? If any of the shareholder is making a default in the payment of a call money, we will term it as a calls in arrear. If more shareholders are making this calls in arrear, it will affect the functionality of the business. That means the company will not have a much fund to conduct its business activities. So it will affect its functionality. So that calls in arrear need to be stopped, or the company have to take actions against it. So that action is known as the forfeiture and the reissue of a shares. Then after calls in arrear, what the procedure of taking this forfeiture and the reissue of a shares, what the company is actually doing. Once any of the shareholder is making a calls in arrear, immediately the company will send a due notice to the concerned person, to the shareholder who made this default. A notice will be sent to him. And that notice will have a stipulated time period within which the company will tell the shareholder that we are giving an extension to you, so you can pay this defaulted money in this extended period of a time. If the shareholder still is not paying this defaulted money, the next step is the forfeiture or the cancellation of the shares allotted to him. Okay, so that is how this calls in arrear leads to the forfeiture of the shares. And once this forfeiture is been done, once a cancellation of the shares is been done, that defaulted shareholders' ownership in the company will be ceased, or it will be cancelled. In simple words, that shareholder will not have a right in the ownership, that shareholder will not have the right in the profit, that shareholder will not have the right in the decision making. His name will be removed from the register of the company. As a member, his name was registered, but after this forfeiture, his name will be removed from the register. Then, after forfeiture, what will happen to that cancelled shares? After forfeiture, his shares will be, or his shares can be reissued, or it can be given to a new person. And the new person's name can be included in the record or in the register of the company as a new shareholder. That is how this reissue of a shares are happening. This is the connection of a calls in arrear, forfeiture and the reissue of a shares. Now, let me make you clear with an example of how this forfeiture can be done and how this reissue of a shares can be done. Here is a problem. A Limited have been incorporated with an authorized capital of 2 lakh divided into 20,000 shares of rupees 10. It offers its 15,000 shares for public subscription on the following conditions. So from the first paragraph, it is clear that the company had an authorized capital of a 2 lakh, which is divided into 20,000 shares of a 10 each. From that, only 15,000 shares were issued to the public for a subscription. So only 50,000 shares are issued to the subscription. Then the allotted shares were divided into, or installment basis, the money is collecting by the company. What are the installments? The first installment is an application. During that time, the shareholder have to pay 3 rupees per share. Then during the allotment, when the company is making the call for allotment, the shareholder have to pay 2 rupees per share. Then when the first and final call is making, the shareholder have to pay 5 rupees per share. Then the next paragraph, the company received all the applications and shares duly allotted, but when allotment is made, a shareholder could not pay on his holding of 100 shares. That means a shareholder who holding 100 number of shares have made a arrear of a payment in the allotment money. So during the time of collecting the allotment money, we have to make clear that, or we have to see that how much money is not been collected. Okay, so here in the question it is telling that a shareholder holding 100 number of shares have been paid the allotment money. Then next line, and he failed to make a subsequent payments. Subsequent payments means what? After the allotment, there is only first and final call is the. So that payment is also not been made by him. So a shareholder holding 100 number of shares made a default in the payment of allotment money as well as a first and final call money. Then what is telling? His shares were forfeited and reissued for rupees 9 per share as fully paid up. That means this is the action that the company have taken to stop this calls in arrear. Okay, or against the calls in arrear, what the company have taken the action? The company have taken the action to forfeit his shares or to cancel his shares. Then after cancellation, reissued, that cancelled or forfeited shares were reissued for rupees 9 per share as fully paid up. So that shares is again given to or it is reissued to a new person at rupees 9 per share. Okay. Then pass the necessary journal entries for the transactions took place. So let's see how to write the journal entries for this problem. The first, as normal, we will write the first normal entry as a bank account debtor to share application. 15,000 into 3 is a 45,000. That means by selling this application or by through the way of application, the company have got 45,000 rupees in cash and it is remitted in the bank. Then in order to utilize this application money, it need to be converted or it need to be transferred to share capital account. Okay, so how to transfer the share application money to the share capital? The 45,000 rupees. The entry will be share application account debtor to share capital 45,000, 45,000 each. Now the company can utilize this as share application money. Clear? Then the next installment is allotment. It is a time to make a call to tell the shareholders that allotment money is due, you have to pay the money. The next entry will be share allotment account debtor to share capital, and as normal the company will get what? The company will get a 30,000 in the name of allotment. That means 15,000 into 2 is equal to 30,000. So 30,000 rupees need to be, or the company will get this 30,000 in the name of allotment. But what is actually happened? Actually, the company have got only 29,800 rupees. Why? Because in the question it is clearly mentioned that a shareholder holding 100 number of shares have been paid the allotment money. So that much amount is not being collected by the company. Okay, so it need to be deducted. It need to be deducted from what? It need to be deducted from this 30,000. So 30,000 minus 200, we will get a 29,800. So as that shareholder have made a default of payment in a allotment money, we can write that entry in two ways: by opening calls and arrear account and without opening the calls and arrear account. So here I have written the journal entry as without opening the calls and arrear account, but here I have opened the calls and arrear account. So how the entry is going to be: bank account debtor, calls and arrear account debtor to share allotment. In bank we are collecting only 29,800, then he have made an arrear of 200 rupees. How 200 rupees? His number of shares is 100 into the total allotment. As per allotment he have to pay 2 rupees. So 100 into 2 is 200. So 200 rupees is the arrear that is made during the time of allotment. So as per the allotment the company will get 30,000, but due to the arrear in the arrear made by the shareholder, the company is able to get only 29,800 rupees. Okay, so we can write it in a two ways: by opening the calls in arrear account and without opening the calls in arrear account. Okay, then the next one is a first and final call money due. What will be the entry? Share first and final call money account debtor to share capital. So here the third installment is being due, or they have made a call to the shareholders by telling that you have to pay the first and final call money. Then they have thought that they will get a 75,000 rupees, but actually the company is able to got only 74,500 number of 500 rupees. Why? Because here also the same shareholder have made the default. Okay, so what was the arrear amount? 500 rupees. 75,000 minus 500 rupees he have made a default. Okay, so This is up to this much the installments and the collection of the money is over. Then what is going to happen? Next, the company is taking its action against this call scenario. They have sent the due notice. The company have given the extension period of a time to the shareholder by telling that we are giving an extension to you, you can pay this defaulted money during this time, but he haven't paid it. So what is the next step? Next step is the cancellation or the forfeiture of the shares. How to forfeit or how to cancel the ownership of a person? By crediting the share capital, we are creating the ownership for a shareholder. Okay, so in order to cancel his ownership, just write these journal entries in a reverse order. Just identify in which all entries we have credited the capital. In the second entry, in the third entry, we have credited the share capital. Okay, share allotment account to share capital. There we have credited. Then share first and final call account to share capital. In that two entries, we have credited the share capital. Then why we are not considering the share application account to share capital? Because there he haven't paid. There he haven't made any of the defaults. Okay, that time during the application, the payment of application money, he have paid this entire amount. Okay, so in that two areas, during the time of allotment and during the time of first and final call, the person have made a default. So that two areas we have to concentrate. Okay, so as I told you before, share capital, if it is credited, if it is crediting, the ownership is been creating. By debiting this as share capital, we can cancel the ownership. So the entry will be share capital account debtor to share allotment, then share first and final call to share forfeiture. Let me make you clear how this entry is been coming and how these amounts are coming. So by debiting the share capital, we can cancel the ownership. Clear? Then what are the entries or what are the amounts that he have made an arrear? He made the arrear in a share allotment as well as in a share first and a final call. 200 and 500 rupees he have made an arrear. Then what is a 300 share forfeiture? In that the 300 rupees is there. What is that? That is the amount he actually paid during the time of application. And the feature of the main important matter related with the forfeiture is that it is considered as a punishment that a company is giving to the shareholder. Okay. Then how the company is punishing? By removing his ownership in the company and by retaining the amount already paid by that defaulted shareholder in the company. So during the time of application, he have paid the 300 rupees. He is holding only 100 number of shares. So 100 into 3, 300. So during the time of application, he have paid this 300 rupees. What the company is going to do? The company will not give back these 300 rupees. They will retain it. And it can be considered as a profit made by the company by forfeiting the share. So by debiting the share capital, we are cancelled his ownership, and by crediting the share forfeiture account, it is mentioning or it means that we are created or the company have created a 300 rupees of a profit. Clear? So this is the entry of a forfeiture. Then what is next happening? After the forfeiture, in the question it is mentioning that reissued, the forfeiture shares were reissued for rupees 9 per share. How to write the entries for a reissue of a shares? And one important thing has to be keep in your mind is this reissue is happening on a discount. Okay, reissue can be done in a 3 ways. It can be done at a par, it can be done at a discount, and it can be done at a premium. And it depends upon the demand of the share in the market. If the company's share is having a more demand in the market, they can reissue the shares at a premium. Okay, if their demand is more or less neutral, or if it is same as before, they will be able to reissue the shares only at a par. if it is reduced, if their demand in the market is being reduced, they can or they will be able to reissue the shares only at a discount basis. Clear? Then, what is the entry for reissue of a share? Bank account added to share, forfeiture account added to share capital. Then, bank account added to share forfeiture. In the bank, it is the amount that a company have collected is a 900 rupees. In the question, it is mentioned that the reissue of a shares were done on a discount basis and it is given on a fully paid up basis. Fully paid up basis means in a one point itself, the company have collected the entire money from the shareholder. Okay. In the previous case, the shareholders were given an installment method or installment basis the company have collected the money. But in a reissue, the company is collecting the entire money in a one point itself. Okay. That is why the 900 rupees is completely or 900 rupees is coming into the bank account. Then, share capital is been credited with a 1000. So, 100 number of shares if it is issuing, if it is reissuing, the company have to get how much amount? The company have to get a 1000 rupees. But in the bank they have got only 900 rupees. 100 rupees deficiency or loss is there. That loss is happened because of the reissue of a shares on discount basis. Okay. Then why they have issued the shares on discount basis? Because there are many reasons will be there. The can be the decrease in the demand of the company or the demand of the shares in the market. It can be, if it is decreased, they will be able to reissue the shares on a discount basis. Okay. So, if the company is reissuing the shares on a discount basis, they have to suffer a loss. So, here how much amount that a company is suffering? They are suffering a loss of 100 rupees. Then, how to compensate this loss? They can compensate this loss by collecting or by taking the amount from the forfeiture account. In the previous entry, the last one, in the forfeiture account, we have 300 rupees of a profit. That profit is made because of this forfeiture. Okay. So, that forfeited profit or the profit made out of this forfeiture can be utilized to compensate the loss which is happened because of the reissue on a discount. Okay. So, that 100 rupees will be collected from the profit out of forfeiture. Is it clear? Okay. Then, after reissuing the shares, the company have collected the 900 rupees and they have compensated the loss from the forfeiture account. Then, some amount is remaining in the share forfeiture account. It should not be remained there for a long period of a time. It need to be converted somewhere. Okay. And it is going to capital reserve account. Whatever be the amount that is remaining in the share forfeiture account as a profit, it need to be converted into the capital reserve account. So, the entry will be share forfeiture account added to capital reserve. Clear? Then, the another point that is related with the issue of a share, the company have to make a clear or the company must have a clear picture about what is the amount of a discount that they are going to issue or what will be the amount of the share if they are going to issue the shares on a discount basis. In the case of a reissue of a shares on discount basis, the company have to be very clear about at what price they can issue the share on discount basis. Here, the company have issued the share at a 9 rupees. The company can also issue the share on a 6 rupees also. It depends. If the demand of the share of the company, if it is very low in the market, they can issue the share at a low price also. That is only possible thing, no? So, if they are issuing the shares on a discount basis, they have to make clear that whether the company is having a enough profit in the forfeiture to compensate that loss. Here, the company have made a 300 rupees of a profit out of this forfeiture. So, they will get they can easily take 100 rupees from this forfeiture profit to compensate the loss during the time of a reissue of a shares. If, just think that if the shares is being reissued at a rupees 6 instead of a 9, if it is issued at just 6 rupees, what will be the loss that the company have to incur? The company have to incur a 4 into 100. That means 400 rupees loss will be there. And that 400 rupees loss cannot be compensated by this profit in the share forfeiture, because the companies only have made a 300 rupees of a profit. Okay, so that is not possible. What the company can do? The company have to wait a little bit so that the demand of their share can increase in the market and they can reissue the shares at a little bit a higher price. Okay, so this is how the forfeiture and the reissue of a shares are happening. So as I told you before, this forfeiture and the reissue are happening only because of the cause and arrear. If a cause and arrear is there, it's after effect or it's a next action that a company is taking is the forfeiture or the cancellation of a shares and reissue. So this is how the companies are journalizing the calls in arrear, the forfeiture and the reissue of shares. Thank you.